30-second countdown. What's going on, beautiful people? Jesse Moon coming to you, and I'm joined by my business partner, Mark Cassara, and this is season 2, episode 2 of the Legacy Syndicate podcast. Mark, what's going on, brother? What are you hailing
What's
to us
going
from?
on, guys? If you haven't subscribed to the Legacy Syndicate podcast, check us out on YouTube and all the other podcast platforms. Guys, we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis. We're going to come and bring value to you guys. You guys already know how we do. You guys already know how we do. We don't charge for sitting down with clients. We don't charge for consultations. We don't charge for anything. We just want to bring value to you about business, about life, about finances, about what's going on in the economy. So I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah, so we got a lineup today. We're going to keep this thing about 30 minutes here today, but I know there's some important topics going on across not only the U.S. but a global economy, and it's going to impact us all. So we're going to give some tips, tricks, and hacks on how to prepare for it. But I know we're going to talk about a mass store closings going on throughout the U.S. right now. We're going to be talking about a potential proposed, or shoot, not potential, it's already proposed increase in tax bill come 2025. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about cryptocurrency and supposedly the de-dollarization, the downfall of the US dollar. And I know there's some topics you want to hit on too, dealing with the current retirement plan and system, dealing with 401ks and IRAs here in America, man. But it's going to be a valuable lineup. It's going to bring some value. So go ahead and grab your pen and paper.
Listen,
and let's get this party rocking.
Don't talk about crypto too loudly because there are so many scammers out there that are trying to copycat us, guys. If you've ever seen somebody try to friend request you or slide into your DMs asking you about crypto or Forex, I promise you it's not us. Yes, we love crypto. We love blockchain technology, but we're not going and promoting it to different people. So if that ever happens to you, please, guys, don't fall for the scam. Just report them and block them and make sure you let us know as well.
We might as well get started with that since you're going to open it up with that. I just got off the phone yesterday for about an hour and a half with one of our agents, and he called me. He knew my background in cryptocurrency, and he said, "Hey, coach," he said, "I need your assistance." It was with his mother, who's up there in age, bless her heart. Back in December, somebody reached out to her and told her, "Hey, you give me $5,000, we'll be able to turn that in 5x at 10x it and the 20,000, 30,000." And then she put the money into the wallet. They educated on how to open up the wallet, send them the money. And yesterday in her hold on, let me say this. MetaMask account, which is an ERC20 token account, like the blockchain, which is based on Ethereum. She says, "Oh, it's showing I have one full Bitcoin. It was $63,081." I said, okay. I didn't know Bitcoin could be held on MetaMask.
Right.
But okay, cool. I said, "Send me a screenshot of showing that that's your portfolio value." She showed it. I said, "Okay, give me some time. I'll hop on a Zoom." Well, she called MetaMask. MetaMask.
They don't
Customer
even have
service.
they don't have a support line. MetaMask, if you know anything
Exactly.
about them,
Hold on.
yeah.
You got the support line through a Telegram chat. They called her, helped her send the money. So she paid, I think it was $1,100-$1,200 fee to send the full 63,000 over. And then they said, "Oh, you have to pay taxes on this money. You got to send this $4,000 more. I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
something's not right. So I called our
No.
agent back. I said, "Hold on, let me ask you a few questions." Bam, 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 bam. Sure enough, I went to blockchain.com, checked the receipt, the transaction ID, zero transaction IDs. And then it showed the initial wallet that she set up had 22 separate transactions. I said, Miss such and such, I said, "Have you been moving your cryptocurrency around a couple times per month? I see 8 transactions here. I see 6 transactions this month." She's like, "I haven't touched it. I gave the guy 5,000. and I haven't touched it since yesterday.
Oh,
So somebody was moving the money around. I'm like,
oh, man.
yeah, guys, when it comes to cryptocurrency, that's one reason why this whole thing about de-dollarization, taking down the dollar, guys, the Chinese yuan is not liquid enough to take down the dollar yet and replace the
Yeah,
dollar. Uh, Cryptocurrency, although it's a it's a fantastic idea right now, it's still decentralized, it's still unregulated, and there's
oh,
too
yeah.
many room for scammers up there. It's too
It's the
volatile.
wild, wild west.
Yeah, and that's not gonna be a mass adoption for another 5 to 10 years until there's some sort of regulation on it.
Yeah,
But guys, yeah, you gotta be very careful in that space. That's why I pulled out of that space back in
yeah,
2018, as I saw like, that's when you really saw how dangerous it was when it went from, because I got into Bitcoin when it was $743 per coin back in 2016,
I
and I
remember
saw
that.
the entire ride up. I still have all my posts, my screenshots. I'm like, man, we were in that thing watching it rise,
Yeah,
and we saw it go up to $19,000, and then literally overnight it dropped down to 3,000. People lost everything. They were
yeah,
taking reverse mortgages out on their homes.
yeah,
I mean, they were selling their kids on the side of the street,
yeah,
anything, because it was the FOMO, the fear of missing out. You better get in. Bitcoin's going to the moon, right? And they lost everything. And I said, man, I don't want that to be my reputation of people losing or getting into something based on my guidance, them taking a loss and then pointing the blame on me. I said, I don't want that. I want to teach people how to make their money, how to grow their money, how to compound their money. And number one thing, how to protect their money, how to preserve it for future generations. So I completely pulled out of the crypto space, guys, and or friends. Ah, that's for you, Mark.
yeah.
Friends.
One thing you guys got to realize is crypto is supposed to be decentralized, which means nobody is supposed to own your money or control your money. It's not like sending it to a brokerage account where you got managers managing your money. This is completely on the blockchain, which means it's free and clear from manipulation. So, if you ever have somebody saying, "Send me Bitcoin and I'll send you something back," that's number one red flag. They're trying to scam you. So you got to look at websites, make sure they're verified, that they're open source, that they're, on the blockchain. And so there's a lot that goes into it. If at all, you just don't understand, obviously you can reach out to us and ask us questions. Jesse used to be a CEO of a blockchain company. Believe it or not, I was a CEO for a very short time of a Bitcoin mining company. And the reason we got rid of that from our life was because it was too risky for people, and we didn't want people risking their money and our names being attached to it. So we got away from that. But just be careful, guys.
Well,
Be
just
careful.
just look at this. I'm going to share with you an email I got yesterday, and it actually had me thinking. I'm like, do I still have money in that thing? I thought that exchange went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So if you look at this, where are we at? Mm, I think this is the right one. Look at this. It says, "Hi, Kenneth J. Moon. Notice a final closure. Based on our data as of May 14th, your account holds an estimated value of $4,731.07. You have until May 31st, 2024 to remove your holdings.
Oh my
Click
god.
here for transaction." Bittrex.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Look at the
didn't
email
Bittrex?
though. Look at the email.
Yeah, I'm looking at the email. Bittrex Global, Bit-Rex Global Alerts, FMG
That's
Suites.
crazy.
And so here's what I did. I went to Bittrex.com. So if I can go here.
Oh, I have emails like that as well. Oh, every single day.
Bittrex.com.
Yeah.
You had until August 31st, 2023 to
Yeah.
move your money off the exchange. But this one's telling me I got until May 3rd, May 21st. It's a
Yeah.
scam.
That's
And if I
crazy.
click that button, it's either going to send a virus to my computer or it's going to be
Correct.
somebody trying to get some money from me.
Yeah. It's the
So
same thing they do when they send you a link and they say that your Facebook has been hacked or your Facebook has been,
I told
click
my wife,
here to recover it. Anytime you see a link that you don't know who it's from, guys, please don't click on the link, because there's ways that they can just instantly steal your password, close your account down. It becomes a mess, guys. But
Yeah.
Talk about the dollar being obviously being de-dollarized, right? And losing its value and turning into a digital currency. There's a something called BRICS, right? That's
Yeah.
pooling together all this support to try to bankrupt the dollar. And it's a very viable thing that could happen over the next 5 to 10 years. And that's the number one question that I get, especially we're in the insurance industry. We deal with a lot of high value, high net worth clients, and they're asking, hey, if my money is here, is it going to be safe if the dollar crashes? What are some of your thoughts and comments on that?
Well, the first things first is I think, you can call it the Illuminati, you can call it the elite, whatever you want to call it. They're not going to allow the dollar to fail without already having a backup plan. There's no way. Okay. So if you did have, a few $1 million or whatever amount you had in the dollar, whatever currency, new currency, whatever form of exchange that we had, all it's going to do is be a one for one transfer.
Correct.
Okay, into that new type of currency. But I'll tell you, BRICS, yeah, they're getting some weight. There's a couple different countries, smaller countries going in. I know India joined. You got Russia, China, South Africa, a couple other ones because ultimately they're handcuffed to the U.S. dollar because of oil, because of foreign exchanges and obviously the tariffs that ultimately. Um, is that my tinnitus or is that a ringing I keep hearing?
Yeah,
So
it's notifications popping up. I got people texting me about the podcast right now.
got you. Okay. And ultimately, it's when Trump was putting the tariffs on the sanctions on the other countries, and now we have a weak leader in the White House that's not going to do anything about it. So that's why they're forming together. It's kind of like a flex per se to kind of show some strength over a weak country, which is what America is right now. But I
Yeah.
promise you, we're not going to stay weak. But I'm reading this article right here from Business Insider. It says 3 reasons the dollar can't be dethroned as the world's dominant currency, according to Morgan Stanley. So it's a Morgan Stanley. Um, and just the top reason is the yuan isn't liquid enough to challenge the dollar yet. Okay, it's I mean, think about all the stuff that's going on in China with the bankruptcies. The real estate market over there has
Oh
completely
yeah.
collapsed. Their stock market has completely collapsed. There's no way they're going to be able to compete against us. So I think China is understanding that. So now China understands because China wants to be the superpower
Correct.
and they're trying to pull other countries in because they can't be a superpower without having leverage
Mhm.
or sidekick, side support from us. Um, it's got too much control over its currency on the open capital, is what it said. Number two, concerns over the U.S. debt will not affect the dollar either. You got the doomsayers say trust in and waning in the greenbacks is concerns rising debt, $34 trillion worth of debt, has little impact on trust in the US dollar given the currency's long running reputation as a highly liquid safe haven asset. So, as long as we got good businessmen and
Right.
women in the leadership of this country knowing how to international sales, or should I say international negotiations, they can get us back on track. So right now it's still not even a concern. And the third one
Yeah.
is crypto isn't a viable alternative.
Not
These are
yet.
the three Morgan Stanley top three things on why the dollar will not be dethroned anytime soon.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
My belief is that we got too many elite politicians and rich people in our country that are too invested in the dollar and in America to let it fail. There's
sure.
something called manipulation, and the stock market is not meant for the little guy. The stock market's meant for the big guy, and it's always meant for them to win over the smaller hands that are at play right there. And so they got so
I
much
thought,
money put into this and invested into this, and it's just there's so many things that we can't even see, or we're not even aware of as just normal middle class America. I don't see it crashing because of all of the power players that are controlling the market. They'll control it with one fell swoop. They'll sell some stuff and the market will crash, and then they'll buy again and the market will get pumped up again. It's just like crypto, but just on a different scale.
Yep, 1000%. I agree with that. It's just understanding that it's too big. It's too big to fail right now. However, the debt, if we want to talk about this, your last question would be a good segue into the next topic, which is the Biden's proposed bill of 44.5%.
Yeah.
Because as the national debt increases, as you see, we're about to get involved in another war. You know, be some other country's band aid. They're going to print money off, and ever since we got off the gold standard, the U.S. dollar is not even a currency anymore. It's they can print it, right, and there's an uncapped amount that they can print. So we think about the taxes. Right now, we're in an all-time historical low tax rate. Okay, Mark, can you pull up the visual of showing the taxes throughout the history, where
Yeah.
it shows the average tax rate is around 56%, 54,
Yeah.
56%. I think that'd be good for people to understand what we're talking about and why we view this and have these perceptions um, on the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years when it comes to retirement purposes.
Yeah.
So,
See if I can
so the thing
find
about
that.
yeah, the thing about taxes, guys, is currently, I mean, the majority of middle class Americans are saving money inside of a 401k that's tax delayed. It's not tax free, it's tax delayed, just meaning you're not going to be paying taxes right now at all time historical low, but you're delaying the tax until taxes are going to be higher. And my friends, taxes are going to go up. As we see it, the sunset law is about to expire. So
Yeah.
January 1st, 2025, the taxes will be rising. They're going back to the 2017 tax brackets. Okay. So we already know taxes are going up in the future. Now, printing off the trillions of dollars, they're going to have to they're going to have to do what? It's going to cause inflation again. It's the same thing that happened in 2020. It's going to cause inflation. They're going to rise the interest rates even more. So we're talking potential double digit interest rates, and the the nation's debt. I mean the bill due on that, the payment due on that is $1.2 trillion per year. So the thing is how are we going to pay off that nation's debt? You got to raise the taxes. Okay,
Correct.
so we're talking tax. Canada just did it with a 66%
I
capital
saw
gains
that
tax.
capital gains,
Yep,
66% on your capital gains. That's
yep. So
insane.
it's like now they're penalizing you for making a profit, for earning,
Yeah.
and in America, if we don't think that can happen here, I mean, Biden's already proposing 44.5%. Why can't they in 10 years propose 66% or higher?
Hmm.
So, and that's when you're delaying your taxes till, my friend, that's probably not a smart decision right there.
Yeah.
So,
The only thing I can find right now is this right here that shows the top marginal tax bracket. Go ahead and see if I can pull that up real quick. Let me know if you can see this. Can you see this screen right here?
let me share.
Should be able to see this screen right here. Let's see.
Yes. So, if you could pull that whole screen up, that
Yeah,
whole visual right there.
let's share this screen right here. Share this screen. Boom. All right, so this is the top marginal tax rate from the 1913 all the way to 2020. Now, granted, this is the top tier of income earners, but you know when World War II ended, the taxes were up near 80-90% top marginal tax bracket. Now, when obviously Reagan becomes president, it comes way down and then it stays down for a low period of time. Taxes have traditionally they've gone up, but they came down recently over the last 20, 30 years. And so we're at an all-time historical low tax bracket right now. Now we just ask you a simple question. Do you think with the trillions of dollars that has been printed in the last two administrations, do you think it's likely that taxes are going to go lower, stay the same, or going to go higher in the next 10, 20, or 30 years? And I ask that to every single client I sit down with, and 10 times out of 10, their answer is, I guarantee it's probably going to go up. So if taxes are going to go up from here on out, and we know that, we don't have a crystal ball, but we know that taxes are going to go up because we have to pay back that debt somehow, and it's going to fall on our back, middle class America's back. Wouldn't it be wisdom to not put your money in some type of tax deferred account that's just going to delay the inevitable, and stick your money in a some type of post tax account that allows you to compound and grow it without the burden of having to pay taxes down, way down the line? It just makes sense. Doesn't do you agree with that?
Yep. 1000%, man. It's
Yeah. Just
taxes, taxes, taxes. There's a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. He says that if you're a middle class American, you're never going to know what financial freedom is if you only have a W-2 job.
right.
He said the reason why is because 51% of all the money you ever make throughout your life will go to Uncle Sam in the form of taxes.
It's the only
So
thing that's guaranteed, man.
this is why they say in the greatest nation in the world, you have to start a side hustle. You have to start a part-time business.
Yeah.
Sell t-shirts out of the trunk of your car if you have to.
Mhm.
Uh, because the tax code doesn't say you have to have a profitable business. It just says you have to have a business. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, think about what's just happening with, there's a building, there's a building over in Fort Worth. I just read the article the other day. There's a building in Fort Worth. In 2021, the building sold for $137 million.
Hmm.
Well, it was just won at an auction, a foreclosure auction for $12.7 million. And somebody commented, "That's the best way to money launder that I've ever seen."
Yeah. Yeah.
To take
Crazy.
that as a loss, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay taxes on the other 130 million. I was like, this is
Correct.
crazy stuff. My
Yeah.
wife looked at me and she's like, "How do we do that?
It's true, man. How do we get in that business?
How do
And
we
eventually,
learn that type of
eventually
stuff?"
will.
Right?
That's the plan. Eventually, we do want to do the real
Yep.
estate and investing and all that stuff.
Not the
That's
money
the
laundering, not the money laundering, Mark.
correct. We're correct. Correct. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, talking about taxes, talking about the 401ks, man. Listen, when the 401k was created, you remember we did a whole deep dive on this, and we actually talk about this in a lot of our wealth workshops, which, by the way, we're having a wealth workshop coming up next week on Tuesday. If you want to be a part of that, stay connected with us online, and make sure you follow us on social media. Tell us about the father of the 401k. Who was he, and what did he recently come out stating about the thing that he created?
Yeah, ultimately it was Ted Benna. Ted Benna was the father of the 401k. Here's a whole video where he talks about the reason why he created the 401k. It was never designed to be the sole retirement vehicle. It was actually designed to help the wealthy use it as a tax shelter from having to pay all the taxes.
Yeah,
And then obviously in 1976, 77 is when the 401k was proposed because the high tax rate, as you mentioned earlier, Mark, the high tax rate in 76, 77 was 73%.
right.
So people like you and I, middle class America, were like, we don't want to pay these taxes. So uh, they lobbied to Congress and they said, okay, we don't want to pay those taxes. So here's what Congress did. They partnered with Wall Street. They created the 401k, and this is where Ted Benna had a real big hand in it, right? He wasn't the sole creator, but he was the kind of guide in it. They created an annuity for themselves. So think about this, Mark. Using the 401k tax code or tax code 401 section K of the Internal Revenue Code, you can use this financial tool. You don't have to pay taxes now on the $500 that you're saving, but you're going to delay taxes 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And then you're going to pay taxes on the harvest, that $500,000.
Yeah,
And oh, by the way, Mark, we're going to tell you what the tax rate is when it's time for you to pay us back.
right. Because
And
nobody
then,
knows.
and then, Mark, you can't touch your money until you're 59 and a half years old. And if you do, you're going to incur a 10% penalty.
And
And oh, by
then
the way, guess what? If you don't use that money or don't need that money,
you're
we're going to
taxed
slap a
more.
penalty on you at 72 and a half years old called a RMD, a required minimum distribution, because we now need that money to pay the taxes, to pay the US debt off. It's
Isn't
an
that the
annuity for
craziest thing?
themselves.
Isn't that the craziest thing ever you've ever heard? When people really zoom out and they really listen to this, we're going to make you put money into a 401k that you can't touch until you're 59 and a half. And then, oh, by the way, if you don't take that money out because we need to claim our taxes, we're going to penalize you and tax you 50% on what you don't take out. I mean, that's like bizarre. And we allow
And then
that to
here,
take place.
let's put a multiplier on that. Let's say you take out more than a certain amount of ordinary income from your 401k. Let's say if you take out more than 24,000, there's a 50% penalty that you now have to, or not penalty, but now your social security is taxed 50%. If you
Correct.
take out more than $34,000 of ordinary income from your 401k, now your social security is taxed 85%. Guys, the
Check.
system was not designed for you to win. The system was designed for you to give the government all your freaking money.
I got Ted Bennett up right
Okay,
now. If you want to allow me to share that screen, give you guys just a
yeah,
quick.
I hope they can hear the sound.
Yeah, let me know if you could hear the sound. I did share audio, so we're going to just play this real quick.
So we get the 401k in the late 70s.
Can you turn it up?
You divide
Very, very faint.
that now we refer to you as the father of the 401k. And at the end of your book, many years later, 4 decades plus, you write, income adequacy will continue to be a major issue in the years ahead. In fact, every retirement system in existence will probably be severely tested. Does that include the current state of 401ks, in your opinion?
No question, Adam. It was never intended to be the primary vehicle for saving for retirement. And, it was only a page and a half long. It was a little fluky thing stuck in an end of year tax bill. But all these plans are subject to the ups and downs of the stock market, and it's very obvious with 401ks. But what people who are in pension plans don't realize is they have the same financial risk. They just don't know it. They're not aware of it.
And with a 401k, at least you have I don't want to say the illusion, because you actually do have some control over where that money goes. But if you were going to make recommendations to improve the 401k system today, what would you recommend?
Many people at retirement are going to have to make some really tough decisions about how to make this provide an income for their life for 20, 30 years. And one way to do that is what is called a guaranteed monthly lifetime income annuity. And I would like to see a tax break, for retirees, maybe the first $1,000 to $2,000 a month that they lock in a guaranteed lifetime income annuity, they wouldn't have to pay tax on it.
That's crazy, man. So Ted Bennett himself even talks about the almighty annuity, man, where people get that annuity, they get paid on a regular basis. There's a locked in rate, and they don't get taxed on that, like you said, $1,000 to $2,000 per month. So this is the father of the 401k. You're hearing it from the horse's mouth. He never, ever intended the 401k to be 30 years later to be the only retirement plan. I say that lightly. It's not the only retirement plan, but it's the only retirement plan that employers all across the country shove in their employees' face. You want to know why? Here's a little secret. The employer takes a tax write-off on any contributions they make into your 401k. They get a tax break, but you, my friend, even though you think it's magical money, it's free money, you're going to have to pay taxes on that money later on down the road, guys. So I hate to burst your bubble. Take it while you can get it, but just know that the more money they give to you, you're going to have to pay more money on that taxes later on down the road when you're ready to retire. So it's kind of like it's like a bittersweet thing,
That's right. Would you rather pay taxes on the seed or the harvest?
Yeah.
It's that simple. And the harvest, you don't know what the taxes are going to be when it's time for you to pay that tax. So cool. I know, Mark, you've helped a couple of people out. We have a mission, a cause, a crusade for the rest of this month. We got about 6.5 months remaining in this. Should I think so? Yeah, 6.5 months remaining, and our goal is 25 million in annuities. We want to help middle class America, the communities, protect 25 million of their hard-earned dollars from any potential market loss. And I'll tell you, during the election year, my guidance right now is stop trying to make money. Start positioning yourself to protect the money that
Protect
you've
your
been
money.
fighting for the past 5, 10, 15, 20, 30
Yeah.
years. Protect that thing because it's an election year. And depending on who's elected, that market could swing 30% upward or it
Yeah.
could swing 30% downward.
Yeah.
Make sure you position yourself that if the market does swing upward, you get the growth of it. But if it swings downward, you have a 0% floor. You don't have to worry about taking any losses, my friends. Okay. And that, my friend, is an indexed annuity. So if you're getting ready to retire, maybe you're already retired, maybe you're in between jobs and you may have an old 401k sitting out there that you're tired of the emotional roller coaster and you want to protect it, you want to preserve it, but you also want to be able to grow it and compound it and multiply it at the same time to give you, like Ted Bennett just said in that video, a guaranteed stream of income for the rest of your life, no matter how long you were to live. Guys, that's an indexed annuity and you got to get educated on it. So our mission in the next 6.5 months is to protect 25 million in annuity money to do rollover. So if you know someone who's already retired, getting ready to retire, has an old 401k that they're tired of losing in, go ahead and reach out to us, the Legacy Syndicate podcast on YouTube, or you can reach out to us individually. Obviously, Mark Casara, the real Jesse Moon, on any social platforms, and we'll help you get educated first and foremost and see if this is even a viable option for what you're looking to solve for. But with that being said, Mark, I think that's a wrap for today's show. It's 31 minutes. We want to keep it short, sweet, to the point, and bring a massive amount of value today. You have any
Absolutely.
closing words before we hop off?
Guys, if you found value in this podcast and you're able to comment, drop a comment down below. Let us know you're watching this. You brought value. It brought value to you. And do me a favor, hit the share button and the subscribe button and the like button, all those things that you got to do. It'll help us get this message out to more people. It'll help us achieve our goal of 25 million monies protected. That's not 25 million coming into our pocket, by the way. That's 25 million of clients' money being properly protected and guaranteed that it'll never ever be lost again. By the way, I just got one client reached out to me today, just about an hour before this podcast, who has $1 million that she wants to protect. She's tired of losing it. She's about 20 years away from retirement, and she just wants to guarantee that it never goes away. And so we're going to be jumping on a call in the first week of June, man. So I'm excited to get that money protected for her. I appreciate you guys watching and listening to this podcast. Stay tuned every single Wednesday afternoon or evening. We're going to be dropping nuggets and dropping bombs. With that being said, I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Appreciate you.